Sounds awesome. Thanks, Maureen. Oh, yeah. I have to exit out of the little box that tells me it's being recorded. There we go. All right, team. Quick reminders. This class is recorded, and any noise on your end, we can all hear it unless you are muted. So please, if you get a phone call, if someone starts to talk to you, if someone's in the other room making a ruckus, please put yourself on mute, and then you can unmute when you have a question or want to have a bit of a group discussion. Let's make sure you have an area free of anything that you could step on or trip over. We are going to use a stretchy band if you have that available to you today, as well as a weight, which could be soup cans, water bottle, a dumbbell, anything that you would like to use. And if at any point you need to stop and rest, make sure you do that. Your recovery breathing is breathing out through pursed lips. And your recovery position, which does help you get air into your lungs, is just hands leaning over your thighs or onto your forearms. Just make sure you keep your head up and don't pull it down. Okay. Now, with all the safety talk out of the way, let's get started. So let's actually get into our breathing pattern. So breathing in and out through pursed lips. In, out through pursed lips. And lifting up a straight arm as we breathe in, out through pursed lips. Good. Breathing in as you lift an arm. Make sure we're trying to fill up the belly, out through pursed lips. And again, breathe in and lift, and out. Breathe in and lift, and out. Breathe in and lift, and out. One last time, breathe in and out. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get you reaching down just below your knee. If you feel comfortable reaching lower, you can. Just make sure you keep your chest and chin up. So this time we're going to breathe in and breathe out as we come down. Breathe in as you come up. Okay, so breathing out as you reach down. Breathe in to come back up. Breathe out to reach down. Breathe in to come back up. And make sure that you are going at your pace. And this is just warm up. You should not be straining. It should not feel strenuous. You are in charge of how intensely you work. Excellent. Once more per side. Breathe out as you reach down. Breathe in as you come back up. Breathe out as you reach down. Breathe in as you come back up. And switching now to reaching across your body. And I want you breathing out as you reach across. That's going to help you get a little bit more range. But again, you should not feel like you are straining at all. There we go. Breathe out as you reach across. Breathe in as you bring it back. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. There we go, team. Now relax your arms. And now what we're going to do is we're going to lift and pedal our foot down almost as if you're riding a bike while seated. Okay, so the knee lifts up, then you push your heel out slightly, bring it down, and then scrape your heel back. Good. So let's get just that little bit of a pedal movement happening. with just one leg. Remember to just stay up tall. Don't let your upper body and back get involved. Just keep that still and just the leg pedals. Keep focusing on that breathing pattern. And again, as we start moving more and more, it's going to be tough to keep a slow breath. And so what you got to do is focus on your breathing pattern still, but don't worry about how long you're breathing in and out for. Switch legs. Good work, everybody. So we're pedaling that other leg, lifting up and stretching out. That's pretty fun. They say once you ride a bike, you never forget. Good. Maintain that breathing pattern. And rest. Brilliant. All right, now we're stepping out to the side, 1 foot at a time. And we're going to start adding in some coordination. So multiple limbs moving at the same time, maybe at different speeds, maybe with different movements. So as we touch out to the side, your opposite hand reaches out and then everything comes back in. Leg taps out, hand reaches forward, come back in. Good. So reach and back, reach and back, reach and back. All right, as we're starting to move and we are maintaining our breathing pattern, I just want to draw attention to your shoulders. Let them relax. If they're hanging up by your ears, just let them drop down and relax. Good work, everybody. Excellent. All right, now we're switching to touching your opposite knee with your hand. So touching opposite hand to knee. Good. Keep up your breathing pattern. All right, and let's add a little bit of a challenge to this.
That is a challenge.
It is a challenge, but we're going to increase the challenge. So what's going to happen is each knee is going to lift up 1, 2, and each hand is going to tap that knee before we switch. So it's across, same, across, same, across, same, across, same. So across side, same side, across side, same side, across, same, 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 across, same. Good. Now let's see if we can maintain the rhythm and the movement without my verbal directions. There we go. And can you speed it up a little bit? There we go. Just doing what you can. This is a challenging movement. There we go. And
I had to breathe.
rest. Yeah. Remember to breathe. That adds to the coordination. I'm never giving you just 2 things to do. You always have that 3rd or 4th thing to do as well. All right, let's reach up and down, up and down, up and down. Good. Now, as we slowly lift one arm up at a time, we're going to lift up our heels and down, 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 heels and down. And let's now try getting our feet moving double time. Good. So get those feet moving at twice the speed if you can. Keep up that breathing pattern. And pushing your arms out in front and back. Good. Good. And now lifting one heel at a time. Maintain your breathing pattern. Remember to breathe out through pursed lips. Good. And let's start getting one foot twice before you switch. So one foot lifts twice before you switch. 1, 2, switch feet. 1, 2, switch feet. 1, 2, switch feet. Good. So twice on each foot, we're lifting that heel. And let's get those arms moving a little bit faster. That's tough. The heels want to move just as fast.
Yeah.
Good. Maintain your breathing pattern. Good. And rest. Shake out those hands. Great job, everybody. Now we're going to start picking up the intensity a little bit, as much as you can. Okay, so this is still within your control. This is still your class. You decide how intensely you work. And what we're going to do is we're going to reach across the body. And again, we're starting to get the work rate up. So let's start moving a little bit quicker now. And we're also going to step our foot forward. So it's a reach, step, reach, step, reach, step, reach, step. Maintain your breathing. Good. And again, this is where it's getting more and more challenging. We do want to start challenging your heart now. The heart has to work harder. Your breathing has to increase and lungs have to work harder. Okay. Good. And rest there. So we did a minute of work. We're going to do 30 seconds of rest. And if you need longer than that to rest, that's okay. You make sure you do that. And if you need to keep moving a little bit to help you rest, feel free just to gently move your hands or your feet. Okay. You do what is best for you. And our next movement, so a minute of work. This time we're going to keep our hands by our sides and we're going to step our feet out, out, in, out, out, in, out, out, in. Ready and go. And if you've got a slidey floor, feel free to slide your feet instead. That's something fun that we normally don't do. Otherwise, we're stepping. Good. Remember, they don't have to be big steps. There's a couple different ways to increase intensity here. Just make sure it's not pulling on your back. You can take slightly bigger steps. You can lift your knees up higher as you step, or you can just move your feet faster. Maintain that breathing pattern. We've still got a couple of seconds left of work. And rest. 30 seconds of rest or gentle movement, if that's what helps you best. Everyone still with me?
Yep.
Still here.
Oh, good, because there wasn't any rest throughout that entire warm-up. So good work, team. You're doing awesome. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our hands, link them together, and we're going to make a circle around our head and then reverse. So the bigger that circle, the harder this exercise is. And for anybody, if your shoulder or neck does not like that kind of a movement, feel free to make a circle just in front of you and just keep changing directions every 1 or 2, okay? But the bigger that circle, the more work this is going to be. Once again, should not feel like you're straining at all. Good work, everybody. And rest. Nice work. So catch your breath. Remember that recovery position, either on your forearms or your hands. We're just slightly leaning forward with the chest and chin up. Make sure we're breathing out through pursed lips. There we go. And we're going to do about 2 to 3 more intervals, depending on how everybody's feeling. All right. Good. So we practiced our pedaling earlier today. So now we're just going to pedal 1 foot at a time. Again, especially if you've got a sore back, don't reach out your leg too far. Just keep it in that little bit more of a tighter circle, okay? And when you're ready, let's go. There we go. Now maintain your breathing pattern here, breathing out through pursed lips. And think of a nice area, a nice neighborhood close to where you live, or an athletic park, a playground. Just imagine, or beside a creek, imagine you biking down that very nice outdoors area. Breathe in that fresh air. It's not very fresh air in Kelowna today.
Oh, man. Feel like I've been smoking again.
Yeah, I feel for you guys. As soon as it gets even a little bit smoky, I start worrying about all of you. You're almost at that minute mark, team. And rest. Another thing actually for all of you to be aware of, it's happened to 2 now of my pulmonary people as it starts getting colder, is when they've turned on their furnace. And it's caused quite a bit of dust and stuff in their homes. And they've had a rough couple of days right after turning their furnace on. So something for all of you to be aware of before you do that. Either there's not much you can do about it and you just have to anticipate that it is going to happen. So what is your action plan? Right, you might need to do a couple of adjustments there. Maybe there's an opportunity to get it cleaned out or clean out the vents beforehand. You might just be aware, everybody.
Companies that do that.
No, not at all. But I have to bring it to your attention. All right, team. So now what we're going to do is we're going to step and reach. And this time it's reaching across. Don't overextend. We are just looking to start moving a little bit quicker here. Get that heart rate up and go. Excellent. 1 minute. Maintain your breathing. Breathing out through pursed lips. That's it, gang. Almost there. Last couple of seconds. And rest. Brilliant. Now make sure you get some water. Get back into your recovery breathing. You should feel ready to go in a minute from now. And it's okay if you don't. That just means you need a little bit longer rest time, okay? So water, get into your recovery breathing. And what we're going to do next is start getting more into our strength exercises. So we got to make sure we are well rested for those. Quiet group today. Are you guys feeling okay?
Yeah.
There we go.
I just keep muting myself because I'm coughing a bit.
Fair enough.
Just feeling
Yeah,
sorry for the British Parliament.
Oh, yeah.
That is not one I've heard yet this week, Barry.
Oh, ours is almost as
Fair
bad.
enough.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay, team, grab your weight or whatever you are choosing to use as a weight. And what we're going to do is we are going to lift up a knee. You're going to move that weight across the knee, back and down, and then to the other side. Lift up a knee, across, back, down, up, across, back, down, lift, across, back, down, lift, across, back, down, lift, across, back, down, lift, across, back, down. Good. Now, super important this exercise is that you are not twisting at your lower back. You're just moving the weight across. Everything else is just strong and stable, and then you bring it back and switch sides. So just the weight moves across. Good. Maintain your breathing pattern. Make sure you're in control of the movement. Good work, team. And that's the last one there. So resting there. Now, from here, guys, you're going to hold the weight in one hand, if you can. If not, just hold it in two, or you can do this without weight, okay? Now, if you feel comfortable standing, from here, we are going to stand up, holding the weight by our side, making sure the weight's not pulling us. So keep strong, and then down. And the goal is to do 2 to 5 with this arm, and then we will end up switching arms. So you may start if you like counting. And remember, if you are staying seated, hold the weight in one hand or in front of you. And we're just going to press our feet into the ground, keep the chest up tall, and then relax. Okay, so again, push those feet into the ground, chest stays up, and then relax. Good. Brilliant. So once you've done what is challenging yet doable for you, you can switch hands and same thing. Good. Remember, it's helpful to breathe out as you go to stand up. Good. And that was 2 to 5. So whatever was challenging yet doable for you. Brilliant. And remember to rest when you need to. So just get back into that recovery breathing. You can always go into your recovery position. Now we are going to hold the weight or without a weight. I'm going to encourage you to try holding it in one hand. And what's going to happen here is we're going to lift the weight up overhead as our opposite knee lifts as well, and then down. Good. So it's up and down. Now remember, you can lift as high as comfortable for you. So even if it's only part way, you can do this without a weight if needed. Good. Breathing out as you lift up is helpful here.
Oh, that's better.
Good. 9,
Oh,
10. Switch sides and lift. So now it's your other arm and its opposite leg. Breathing out as you lift up is helpful. Great job, everybody. Good control. Upper torso staying strong and stable, even as a weight lifts up. 8, 9, 10. Good. And rest there. Now's a great time for a sip of water. Maybe get into that recovery position. And again, if you're someone where a little bit of movement helps you recover, feel free just to keep your arms and legs moving, whatever feels good for you. Now we are going to have a little bit longer of a rest just because you want to make sure that you feel ready to go for the next set. And that means we are repeating all those exercises we just did with the weight. Good. Anyone have any questions? All right. Well, I hope you are all still breathing as you're very quiet. And if you need a longer rest time, please take it. Other than that, we are going to repeat those 3 strength exercises, lifting the knee, moving the weight over, back, and down. Lift up your knee, over, back, and down. Lift the knee, over, back, down. Lift the knee, over, back, down. Good. Slow and controlled. Make sure your upper body is strong and not wobbling. or twisting. And maintain your breathing pattern. Good work, team. And last one. Brilliant. Now, what was the second exercise?
Stand up
It was
with
our
the weight.
sit to stand. Yep, you've got it. Standing up with the weight by your side. Thank you, thank you. And up you go, unless you're staying seated, then press those feet into the ground. You should feel those thigh muscles tighten up regardless of the movement. And if you're not quite sure how to feel it, I am so happy to give you some pointers. I want to make sure everyone feels like their exercise is challenging yet doable. Good. Breathing out as you stand up is helpful. Remember, your goal is 2 to 5 per side. So I am going to switch hands and now do 2 to 5 on my other side. Slow and controlled, team. Well done. It's all about doing what you can. Awesome. And that's 5 for me on that second side. Well done, everybody. Rest when you need to, but we've got that last exercise left. Perfect. I see some of you doing it. So we're lifting up that arm and the opposite knee. Make sure your torso stays strong and stable. So it's up and down, 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 up and down. Good. Remember, it's helpful to breathe out as you lift up. Good. And switching sides. So now your other arm is lifting up the weight. Your other knee is lifting as well. And it's up and down. Up, down, up, down. Good. Breathing out as you lift up, down. Good. Up, down, up, down, up. Good work, team. Breathing out as you press up. And last one. Good. You can shake it out. Now, again, this is your chance to recover. So please, water, recovery breathing. And if it's what best helps you, feel free to get yourself moving just gently to help you recover. Did everyone feel good during those 3 exercises?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So remember, we can change up any exercise that we do to make it challenging yet doable. The goal is to have everyone feeling good by the end of exercise. Brilliant. So before we start the next set of exercises, making sure that you feel ready to go, not that you're pushing yourself to start. Okay, because when we do our strength exercises, we do want to have that appropriate rest time, and that's going to help you get stronger. Okay, so we're going to use a stretchy band. And if you do not have a stretchy band, that's okay. I'll show you what you can do instead. Now we're going to hold the band right in front of your chest. One arm is going to stay pushing out, and the other arm is going to pull the band back. And then you slowly bring your hand back, and then we switch. So again, the one hand stays pushing away from you as the other hand pulls. One arm stays, one arm pulls. One arm stays, one arm pulls. And if you don't have a stretchy band, you can either do this just body weight and really think about pushing and pulling, or you can use whatever you were using as a weight, just lean over the legs and pull the weight up, okay? So that is a way you can work very similar muscles. Good. Remember, if you have troubles gripping your band, feel free to just wrap it around your palm once or twice. And that can help you with not gripping it as tightly. And one more. Pull and relax. Good work, team. All right, that band can go to the side. Now we're going to get your weight again, and you can be seated or standing. But what's going to happen is one foot is a bit ahead of the other, and we're actually just going to either swing the weight forward and back, making sure that it doesn't feel strenuous, or you can switch hands as you go if you feel that coordinated. No matter what, I will tell you, okay, halfway, time to switch, and that's the cue to switch the feet and switch which hand is swinging if that applies to you. And again, you can do this seated or standing, which will really help with your balance. Ready and go. So swinging one hand. And whether you're seated or standing, the goal is to stay up tall and still, like you're balancing a plate on your head. So that's where you have to tighten the core, because this moving weight wants to move your body. Don't let it. And that's halfway. Switch. Have a quick look to make sure you're not going to swing your weight into anything you don't want it to hit. Good. Keep breathing out through pursed lips.
chair when I was doing it. And had
What's
my
that?
thumb, I hit my chair with the weight and then my thumb was there. Kind of crushed my
Oh.
thumb against the chair,
Ouch.
but it's okay.
Oh, that's awful. If the weight's feeling a bit too heavy, you can always kind of just go side to side.
I
Yeah,
just,
and swing with
chair
control.
sticks out further than I realized.
Oh no.
It's okay.
Oh, I'm so sorry that happened. And rest. So you guys should have felt that a bit on your balance. That's where standing would have been really helpful for you. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to once again get one foot right underneath your knee and the other's going to pull under your chair a little bit. You can even prop your foot up on the leg of your chair. And we're just going to lean forward from the hips. You won't be able to go very far, especially because the one hip is stretched out a little bit. And then you're going to push through your leg to pull you back up. So it's a lean forward and then push. Lean forward, 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 push. Good. And once more on this side. And switch hands. Switch which leg is forward and which is pulled a little bit underneath you. And then same thing. And it's normal to feel like one side's tighter than the other. And it's easier to feel that when we've kind of more isolated one side of your body rather than both sides doing the movement at the same time. That's where those little weaknesses or spots that need improvement can really shine, is because when they get done together, one side can compensate for the other. So it's good to get one side working a little bit more independently. And rest there. Brilliant, team. Brilliant, brilliant. Now we are going to repeat those three, but have a little bit of a rest. Keep moving if you need it. But repeat those three and then it's time to stretch. So you take as long of a time as you need to fully recover. And the first exercise we did was actually using that stretchy band.
On the last one, Jill, which leg should we be pushing into the ground?
The forward leg.
The forward leg. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. Really good clarification. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, team, holding that band in front of you and pull it back. Good. Remember, it's helpful to breathe out as you pull back. Maintain your breathing pattern. Think about how great you are. You got here today. Good. Just a couple more pulls. And rest. Good. Okay, that second one. This set I will show it standing, but you can be seated or standing. One foot a little bit ahead of the other. Now, the more stacked those feet are, and stacked meaning heel to toe or step both of them on one line, the harder it's going to be. So find that challenging yet doable range. And then we're just swinging the weight. And again, do it with control. Don't let it knock against your body. Keep it a little bit away from you. And you can either swing on the one side or swing and switch hands. Good. The goal here is to tighten your glutes to help you with your balance. And even if you're doing this seated, you're welcome also to lift a leg while seated. But the goal is, can you keep your body still as the weight moves? And maintain your breathing. All right, and we're just going to switch which foot is forward. So that was the halfway point. Switch hands if you're just working the one side. Good work, everybody. Keep up your breathing. And remember, challenging yet doables are phrased. So if it's not quite doable or it's not quite challenging, you got to tell me. I am so happy to adjust things for you. And trust me, I can do it very easily. And rest. Okay, now that last one, well, you can do this standing as well. It's just one foot in front of the other. Or you're seated, pull that one foot back. And we're just leaning forward. And then whatever foot is in front of you, you're going to push off of it to come back up. Make sure you keep your head and chest up as you lean forward. Otherwise, that could make you feel a bit breathless or a bit lightheaded. So you just want to keep the head and chest up as you bend forward. Good. And switch sides. And go. Good work, team. Hinge forward at the hips, chest up, and push through your foot to come back up. Good. Drive through that foot. Should feel your glutes. Remember, those are those bum muscles. Tighten up. And rest. Rest, rest, rest. Woo!
Good.
Well done, everybody.
Yeah.
Now, did anyone feel that in their lower back?
Yes.
Little.
A little bit. Okay.
Those of us who have bad backs. You never know.
So the key thing there is when your back is in a flare up, those forward bending movements are usually going to be sore. So even me, I've got a bad back. I've had nerve issues and I've had a fractured tailbone. So I'll sometimes have a flared up back where bending over just to grab a pencil off a chair hurts. In those flare up moments, that's the time to be careful about all those movements because it's just going to irritate it. But when you're in times of relief, where you're not in a flare up, it's important to practice those movements because those will actually help strengthen your lower back so that the flare ups are a little bit less frequent. And when they do happen, not as severe. Okay. And so what's really important about those forward bending movements is there's a huge difference, guys, as we've talked about before, between rounding the back and hinging the hips. So in the second movement, my glutes and my hip complex is taking the weight. The first one, my spine is doing all the work and it's tugging my lower back. And that's why I'll so often get you guys seated with your feet and knees wide apart and practice your hinging this way. This feels good on the back. And it's a good back strengthening exercise. You just go to where you can, you bend forward at the hips, you should feel it tight on those inner thighs, and you come back up. And as you get better, you try to get a bit lower, you add a bit of weight. Okay. So bad backs, that's a good exercise to practice. Okay. And then this movement, you learn how to move from the hips. What is your question?
Are there any exercises that we can do to help us with the sit to stand? I just can't seem to get my bum out of the chair on those sit to stands.
Yeah, and do you feel it's more coming from the
It's got
muscles
leather.
or more from your lungs?
I think my muscles.
From the muscles. So again, and when
Yeah.
we practice pushing the feet into the ground, do you feel those muscles tighten up?
Yep. But I
Good.
just can't seem to get up.
Nope, that's okay. It's just important that you work on this one because those strengthen you in that bottom position. Now, what you'll want to do
Okay.
is, have you got a sink at home? Like a kitchen
Yes.
sink? Well, you hold on to that kitchen
Yeah.
sink and you squat down, and then you use your legs and your arms to push you back up. But you got to make sure you're not just pulling with your arms, you're still pushing with your legs. And you got to find that
Okay.
balance where your legs are working hard, but you're able to do it with your arms' help. Does that make sense?
Yep. Uh-huh.
And you do
Yeah.
10 of those, 15 of those, 20 of those, and that helps build up strength in that range of motion. And so then
Okay.
it'll become easier to stand up from that chair.
Okay.
There you go.
Does it matter how far apart your feet are?
That mostly
Or
just
should
helps
they
with
just be
your balance.
Okay.
Right, the closer together your feet are, a little bit less balanced you are. Although some of you with, especially with long femurs, that's not me, I've got short femurs, or sore knees, you can turn your toes out and that'll take some pressure off the knee joint.
Okay, that could be some of my problem. I do have really bad knees.
Yeah, and is it arthritis
Yes.
or an old injury? I know a
Yes.
lot of you with that. Strengthening the muscles helps with the knee pain. And again, just
Okay,
like
good.
we said with the back, when your knee is in a flare up, that's not the day to try to strengthen the muscles because it's already inflamed and angry. Squatting on it's just going to make it mad. Now, and those are times
Yeah.
where in a flare-ups are times for passive movement. You still need movement, but it's a time for passive movement. So an example of that for a knee flare-up is just sliding a cloth along the ground, or stationary biking. That is a passive, gentle movement that still gets the joint moving. For a lower back flare-up, I like to put my hands on the seat of a chair and just rock back and forth. So that takes some pressure off the back and gets the hips moving. That is a passive movement that won't strain it at all, but just get some blood flow to that area. Shoulder flare up. You get bent over and you start moving your arm in little circles. Or you start sliding a cloth up and down the wall. So there you go, guys. In times of flare-ups, you need some sort of passive movement, and in times where it's not flared up, that's where you need to work to strengthen things so that the pain is less and the function is improved.
Bill,
Just like your lungs.
Bill, I noticed that when I do this, I must be doing something incorrect. My lower back hurts. And maybe
Okay.
my posture isn't good for that, you know?
Yep. So that can sometimes happen.
Mm-hmm.
One of two things, and they're a little bit opposite of each other, and it kind of just depends what's going on with your back. Okay. So sometimes we lean forward too much.
Yes, I think that's what I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I would encourage you to do if you feel like that's the case is try really tighten through your core, like brace hard and push through your feet and really push yourself up like you're pushing a hole into the ground and see if that improves.
Mm.
Otherwise, sometimes it can be your back is just compensating. So again, get your hands on that kitchen sink and start squatting with some support.
Oh,
And start building up that muscle.
that'd be very helpful. I know that. So thank you.